Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Banish the Doubt. This afternoon, I'm going to keep on with this theme of our self perception, our self image, how we see ourselves. Because, like I've said in past videos, this to me says it all. This is absolutely what keeps us either in a state of like a hamster in a hamster wheel, just going around, going around, going around in our life, and then we find that 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of our life has passed us by and really not much has happened, versus understanding this image that we have of ourselves and having the courage to step out and to say, yes, I'm going for that, whatever it may be that has been hidden inside of you, to the world, that is, and to yourself, that you have denied, that who you really are. Maybe you watching this right now, maybe you have that book inside of you, you've always wanted to read, to write, but you just never thought anybody would buy it. Maybe a playwright that you have inside of you. Maybe you want to be a musician. You always wanted to be one. Maybe it is getting out of a relationship that you've been in for many, many years and you feel like it's just you're trapped and you don't have the courage to step out. Maybe going back to school to get an education, to go after the job that you've always wanted, you knew you could do. Whatever it may be. Maybe you're in sales and you've really just sort of hit a certain plateau because it's comfortable, and but you know you could be more. You know you could be the top producer. You know you could start your own business, and you haven't done that. So these are what these part of why these videos I make are this is for. So I want to touch on a few things. So points to success. One is keeping an open mind. Now, an open mind is having a mind that says, you know what? I'm not so stuck to these beliefs that I've developed over time. And if you see in my previous videos, one I made yesterday, the definition oftentimes of arthritis is just frozen hate. And you can sort of understand that if you stand back and look and say, well, let me see, I don't never heard of any little babies, little children walking around saying, geez, my joints hurt. Um, they don't. It's always when we get later in life, right? After a lifetime of having these beliefs, in these resentments, in this guilt, sort of hardwired into us, and we carry these around. The majority of people walk around in this life with they're not happy, but they don't put forth that image. It's always this facade, this veneer that, oh, everything's fine, no, nope, nope, everything's wonderful. We smile. Yeah, how is everything? Oh, it's great. Yeah, well, how's life? Oh, it's wonderful. Can't let anybody else out there know what's really going on. So this is why we carry this and we suppress it inside of us. Number two, motivation, and number three, education. These are what I refer to as the points of success going through our life. So it's keeping an open mind, it's motivating, having this thought of motivation, this thought of happiness internal, that yes, that you are in tune to who you are, not this fake veneer that we put out there that everything is fine, everything's wonderful, when it's really not. And the third, the trifecta for this, is education. You see, I believe that we've been programmed to believe in this education, that we just, we go to school for a certain amount of time, certain amount of years, and we answer a few questions and then we move on. But the average person, or most people, a lot of people anyway, they go get their education and then they can't make it in the marketplace, they find. Or they're they're not comfortable around other people. It's because they're really not educated. They really don't know who they are. And a lot of them don't like who they are. Now, I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know. You walk through the supermarket, you walk through the mall or wherever, you're going to find oftentimes most people coming towards you. Where are their heads? Their heads are down. They're looking away from you. They're not looking at you. We're doing the same thing most of the time, most of us. We just sort of walk right past each other. We never interact. The average person, based on the education that we received, has an inability to walk up to a stranger, extend their hand, or just look at them and say, hi, how are you? How's your day going? Why? Well, For me personally, it's who've been our role models, who has modeled that type of behavior. Nobody. Certainly not our parents, certainly not our society, the people we hang around with, right? But that is the mark of somebody who is internally comfortable with themselves. They're not walking around carrying this resentment or this guilt or this lifetime of anger and frustration, right? Now, it's a beautiful day today. And here in New Jersey, it's a just a gorgeous late spring day, low humidity, temperatures nice and warm, probably in the low 80s. And I'm hearing my neighbor in the backyard, his backyard, and he's out there and F this and F that. And you can just sense and feel this anger with his family. And it's a shame but that's inside of him. And I'm going to prove this to you now. I'm going to ask you to think about an orange. Obviously, you got this little vision, this thought of an orange in your in your head, right? Now, I want you to picture yourself squeezing. If it's between my hands here, squeezing this orange. What's going to come out of it? Orange juice, right? It's not going to be apple juice. It's not going to be prune juice. Not even once in a while. Not going to be grapefruit juice. It's going to be orange juice. Why? Because that's what's inside, right? So what's inside of you and I, right? If we are out on the road and somebody cuts us off or almost goes through a stop sign because they're not paying attention, what's our first reaction? It's not, oh, geez, you know what? It's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens a lot. Don't worry. Just go ahead. Or, I'll go first. You just sit there. No, because that's what's inside of us, the anger, the frustration, the fear, right? If somebody says something about us behind our back, what's our first reaction? Is it one of, that's who they are, and that's the type of person that they feel they need to be? They haven't really been awakened yet. Their awareness is not that advanced to where they don't have to be like that, right? Now, as we begin to understand ourselves and learn who we are on the inside, you see, because there's a saying, it says, the more I learn about who I am, the more I understand you better. You may want to write that down. And, if you're new to my channel and you're liking what you're hearing so far, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you can watch all of my videos, my library. And what I will tell you is if you're returning, and this is not your first time watching, and if you are new, both of you, um, have a notepad handy with a pen because you're going to want to jot down some notes. And one of them is this. You might want to recite this too a couple of times throughout the day. The more I learn about who I am, the more I understand you better. It's an absolute law. Take it to the bank, as they say. The more I understand who I am, the more I learn about who I am, the more I understand you better. Because the you out there, the people out there, the average person, the majority of people, right? They don't know this stuff. They haven't been taught this stuff. They haven't learned this stuff. Okay. So the other part is motivation. Talking to yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, not a rah-rah kind of a sales group gets together before they start making their sales call of motivation, but one of looking at yourself in the mirror, telling that person you approve of them, that they are deserving of everything in this life, that they are worthy of success, whatever that type of success, whatever that may be, losing weight, get into a better relationship, getting a better job, generating more money, whatever it may be, becoming a millionaire or a billionaire in this life, helping people, whatever it may be, tell yourself that, okay? Or tell yourself that you are so proud of yourself for learning this stuff, watching my video and other ones like this, reading the books about the book called Your Invisible Power. Look it up. The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. Look it up. Read these books on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Take some time. Learn more about what makes you tick, who you really are on this inside. Because I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as you do this, okay, learning more about who you are, uncovering this, opening up this present, it is like a giant Christmas morning every single day. Because the more you open up this present, the more you open up this box and you look inside and understand what's there, and like going to your garden and pulling out all the weeds to allow the beautiful flowers and the blooms to come up, because they're there. The seeds are there. Okay, the seeds are inside of you. They're there. By opening this up, by becoming more aware, you're shedding more sunlight on these seeds. You're getting more water to these seeds. You're allowing those seeds to germinate. Okay, all these seeds to start to germinate and bloom. And like the beautiful picture of the flower of my daughter behind us here, you see that is what's going to come out. And as you do this, right? And as you start to understand this, understand yourself, because it's really this, all this is, this game of life is nothing more than learning who you are and pulling the weeds out. And they're there. They're always going to be there. But if you notice any other garden, as you pull weeds out, there's less and less weeds to pull, right? So that's the other thing, motivation, but that type of motivation. Okay. So a proper balance is motivation and education. Understanding, being comfortable, being relaxed with yourself, forgiving yourself, motivating yourself for this life, and education, learning more. Okay. So the comfort zone. I want to show you this here. This is us in life. Okay. We're either creating or we are disintegrating. We are creating, learning about ourselves, learning about our life, motivating ourselves, or we're disintegrating. We're not doing anything. Okay. Here's the reason I say that. Because in life, nothing ever stays the way it is. Life is always changing, always moving on. Okay. Growing, just like the flowers. Okay. They're going to come out of the seed, they're going to bloom, and then they're going to die off. Now, in between the two, okay, in between these two here is here. Now, if you ever hear somebody say that they are, oh, I like just the way things are. I don't need to change. I don't need to do. I like the way my life is right now. I don't have to do anything. Understand this. The person is advertising their ignorance of the very basic law of life. They're advertising their ignorance of the basic law of life. It's because what they're doing is they're saying their mind is not open. And as you have understand this, if you have an open mind, the way to test it is if this information I'm talking to you right now, this is your first time watching this, and if you're receiving this and you're saying, nah, it's okay, I don't need any more of that stuff. I'm okay, I don't need that. You don't have an open mind. An open mind is a person that says, you know what? I kind of understand what he's saying, and I want to go inside, and I want to pull these weeds. I want to declutter. I want to get all this crap out of there that's been there maybe for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Okay, that stuff's been just sitting inside of you. That's resentment, that's guilt, that's fear, that's frustration, that's doubt, as I call my channel here. Banish the doubt, okay, and the fear, the frustration, and all that crap that's in there. Understand this. Any type of resentment you have in your life, there's no such thing as any justified resentment. Banish that. There is no such thing. I don't care how upset you are, how hurt you were in your past. Let it go. There are no justified resentments. That does more damage to yourself. Guilt. Okay. Resentment is pointing outward towards somebody else. Guilt is pointing that arrow inward towards yourself. Either way, your body deteriorates. Okay. Your body is on steroids, disintegrating on steroids. I know that personally myself because my life was part of that resentment and guilt. A lot of that. It ended me up in Sloan Kettering over New York City with cancer. So I tell you as a person who understands this on a personal level, it can very oftentimes lead to that heart dis-ease. That's why they call it heart dis-ease. Your heart can't take it. Okay. So this is why I'm talking. This is what my channel today and these last few episodes of videos I've made have all been about changing this self concept, how you see yourself. And every day, you're either waking up in the morning with a vision of the future, okay? something you're striving for, and it could just be changing this, okay, changing this idea, this vision, this ideal you have of yourself, this vision you have for yourself. Or it could be the other stuff I'm talking about, getting out of a toxic relationship, a dysfunctional relationship, overcoming some sort of substance or drug abuse. They're all the same, it's drugs, but overcoming that or changing that. We change, right? And I said that life never stays still, it's changing all the time. So you change right here and right now. You declare in this moment, it's over. I am no longer that person that maybe last night got another drunk thing going on. You got hammered again, or you got into other kind of drugs. Okay. Or you're like, the guy here with all that anger inside that just comes out every time sometimes things go a little sideways. You're declaring right now, enough. I'm no longer that person. And if you do say that, understand you are in this moment a new person. As paradoxical as that may be, seem to believe, you absolutely, on a spiritual cellular level, and I'm going to show it to you here in a second, you are absolutely a new person right now, right here. And if you declare that, this is why they call it born again. See, now this is part of the conditioning. We've been born again, or we were programmed to believe these born agains are those weird people. It's not that, not that at all. I declare right now in this moment, and then you are born again. You are this new person. You're planting this seed in your head. So we go on. Excuse me. Sidney Herbert Wood. Okay, he wrote this literature, this piece about. He called it the test of an educated person, and he asked these questions. Again, Sidney Herbert Wood. Many of us have had a false concept programmed into us, into our mind, which represents our education. Okay. The programming is we go to school. I talked about this a minute ago. Go to school for a certain amount of years, and we will be able to we're able to correctly answer a series of questions. So I explained that already. Okay. So many of us, after these years of education, this is the notes that I jotted down for today's video. So I talked about that. Many of us, after years of education, even advanced degrees, plural, are still very awkward in social settings. Now, personally, myself, I'm wondering, that's interesting. You think you'd go to school for 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 years of your life, and you never heard of required general education as learning this concept of yourself, learning how to get outside of your comfort zone. What is a comfort zone? Well, we learn about this later on in life. A lot of us, like myself, your humble um, host here today, learned it a certain way, not a hard way, a certain way. It was the best thing ever happened to me in my life, was getting that, seeing the word malignant, because it forced me to make this change in my life. Okay, so the first question is, can I entertain a new idea? That's the first question. Can I entertain a new idea? If this is new to you, can you do that? Do you have enough of an open mind to do this? Is this idea, if you're looking at this saying, yeah, I want to learn more about this, I see what this is saying, it's making sense? Or are you watching and saying, you know what, nah, this is hokey stuff, I'm not going to get into that. It's up to you, but this is what he said. The second is, can I entertain another person? This goes back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago. Are you educated enough about who you are on this spiritual level? Remember, I've said in previous videos, and again, if you're new, go back into my library and look at them. We are all spiritual beings having this human existence. We are led to believe we are humans having this sort of spiritual journey, right? These born again people. It is the opposite. Quantum physics has proven that we are spiritual beings. We're having this human existence. And if you're doubting this, I want to simply just let you know this one thing, and you think about this. Your reality is different than mine. Okay? Your reality is nothing more than a reflection of your innermost thoughts. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy states. Any thought that we think goes out into this energetic vibration, goes out to the universe, and it comes back to us in some form, in some way, at some other time. It could be 20 minutes from now, it could be 20 years from now, but it will come back to us. Okay? You can look it up. So maybe we want to test ourselves. Okay? We go out tonight or tomorrow. Maybe there's a complete stranger at work. Maybe you're off tomorrow, you're out shopping, or whatever it may be. Test it out. Are you comfortable enough with yourself? Are you educated enough about yourself to walk up to a complete stranger, extend your hand? Now, as you're doing this, I would say myself personally, I'm going to do this, is I'm going to watch myself, but just as importantly, I'm going to watch the reaction of the other person. You'll be able to read, again, the more I learn about myself, the more I understand you better. You're going to be able to read that person in an instant. You're going to be able to see their facial features. You're going to almost be able to read their thinking. It's like, who is this? Now, what's the first thing they're thinking? Most people. What's this guy or this girl here? What are they trying to sell me? Right? It's almost a knee-jerk reaction. What are you trying to sell me? Defense, hands up, get away. I don't want, I don't trust you. They don't trust in themselves. I'm insecure. Because again, the educated or the secure person says, it's okay, I'm fine. I'm comfortable enough with who I am that I can extend myself out to you. Just, hey, how are you? My name is. Okay. So that's the second question. Can I entertain another person? The third question is, can I entertain myself? Again, going back to learning about who we are, learning about this self image we have. Who is this self inside of you? What is this image you have of yourself? Okay. So most people need to be around others, it says. Right? Now, again, going back to some videos I made about, I don't know, several weeks ago, you may recall if you've watched my videos before, I talked about the study that was done. Very, 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 very vitally important study. It was done at a college, and they had, I think, 10 women and 10 men. And here's what they asked them. Two questions, or two options. Two options. Sit with yourself alone for 15 minutes, just your thoughts, or give yourself an electric shock. 80% of the men, when given that option, chose the shock. 60% of the women, strike that. 80% of the women chose the shock. 60% of the men chose the shock. Can I entertain myself? Clearly, no. Because why? We don't like what's going on in here. We don't like the clutter. We don't like the thoughts. So can I entertain myself? Can I open my mind to these other opportunities, other ideas? Or is there so much crap inside there? Again, from years and years and years of frustration, fear, anxiety, resentment, guilt. We need to flush all that out. This is how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. The books, Your Invisible Power, The Power of Awareness. You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Okay? Letting Go, extremely important book. Look it up, Letting Go. It talks about all of this. Letting go, being able to see a stranger, just give a smile and a nod and a hello. Because if you're incapable of doing this, if you're just walking this way, you're not looking over there at them, not looking at them, not looking at them either, neither looking at you. Okay, fine. You stay over there, you stay over there, I'll stay right here. No, that's not what this whole world is about. That's not what this universe is about. Society says that, does it not? Right? Trump people over here, Biden or Obama people over here, right? They want to divide, and then they conquer everybody. Okay, they divide us and then they conquer us. That's what this society is built on. Control. They want you to be like this. They want them over there and them over there. Understand this. Again, learn this. I'm not going to get into any kind of a political speech or what have you here, but as you learn more about yourself, as you learn these things, as you read the book specifically, Letting Go, he talks about that. Dr. David Hawkins talks specifically about that. Society and this global government doesn't matter what, there's no political party affiliation at all. They want you and I not to have this type of knowledge. They don't want us to be self-assured and knowing who we are. Here's another exercise for you to consider. Okay, being comfortable with yourself. Tonight, tomorrow, this week, whatever it may be, go into your closet, look at all of your clothes, and tell me or tell yourself that you don't hang on to 80% and just wear the other 20% all the time. The 80%, get rid of it. Go in. If you haven't worn it in a while, just get rid of it. And I'll tell you, there's gonna be some in there. You'll be like, yeah, I don't wear that much, but wow, I really love that shirt. Oh man, those jeans. I don't know. You sure? Don't sell anything. Give it away. Because whatever you give away in this life comes back to you. Don't. Don't sell anything. Just here. Give it to the next person who can use it. Again, 80% of what's in your closet you haven't touched in maybe years. It's the other 20% you just sort of recycle through. And you know I'm right. So get rid of it. Just like the 80% of the crap that's inside your head that's been laying there for years. Get rid of it. It's occupying, it's cluttering your mind, it's cluttering your closet. Your closet up here is being cluttered by it. So get rid of it. So I want you to think of this, okay? Again, take the notes down as you're watching my videos. Results. That's what we're looking for in our life. We always are, okay? We are looking for them we're looking for results in our health, in our happiness, in our wealth. Health, happiness, and wealth. Those three areas. What's the result you're looking for in your health, the area of your health? What's the result you're looking for, area of your happiness? Okay. And what's the result you're looking for in the area of wealth? Is it maybe making the payment for your mortgage, continuing to make it on time, or maybe you want to make an extra payment? You want to pay it off in a certain amount of time. You have a 30-year fixed mortgage. Maybe your goal is, or your result is, I'm going to pay it off in 10. I will tell you, as you start to do these exercises, as you start to learn more about yourself, you're going to pay that sucker off in much less time. I've seen it happen. I've watched in videos and I've heard from other people talking about the wealth that they've accumulated in no time at all. You see, because you accumulate it, but you generate it, okay? I want to tell you this about money. This was profound that I heard. And I got another note for you to take with yourself. You see this money here? See what it says right there? It can't talk. Money can't talk, but it can hear. That's profound. Our money, or money, not ours, but money cannot talk to us, but it can hear us. Okay? And I will tell you that if you're having trouble attracting it, it's because it can't hear you. You're not talking its language. Okay? You speak its language, not by, I want money, I want money, I want money, I want money. You speak it by, my life is, I'm learning to love myself. I'm attracting it. I'm bringing it to me because I'm helping people, namely myself. And I'm some sort of service. I'm helping others. I'm extending my hand and I'm saying, hi, stranger, how are you today? Sounds very simple, but you don't know. that person you just said hello to, that could be the very simple acknowledgement from somebody else that they've been waiting for, they've been looking for. Somebody actually acknowledged me. You don't know. But I can tell you by saying, I'm not paying attention to anybody else. I'm just thinking about myself. I'm looking there. I'm not looking over there. You're not speaking the money's language. It can't hear you. By saying, I'm getting rid of the 80% of the clothes I do not wear and I'm putting it out there to the universe, somebody else can use these shoes, this shirt, this jeans, these pants, whatever it may be, this suit, somebody else can use that. Whatever we give away, whatever we put out, we never give anything away. It always comes back to us, okay? In some form, in some way. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Try to control how it comes to you or when it's going to come to you or what form it's going to come to you. Get rid of that. Just know I'm giving it back for whence it came. That's it. It's this simple, ladies and gentlemen, because just in the act of doing that, you're going to feel better. You can't not. This is who we are on a cellular level. It's who we are. We are designed this way. Society has us doing this. Okay? And you know if you've watched anything on the TV, the news, you know this. The older you are, I guarantee you know this. Okay? But what I'm talking about and what the universe talks about, what these books talk about is this. We come together. Okay, we unify. We come together. This is why the prayers, you pray this way, you meditate this way. The fingers are not like this. Okay, it's not this. It's this. It's unity. Okay, it's who we are at our core. And the more we're like this, the more this just sort of vanishes. All the crap that's inside, all the resentments. Understand. Resentment is pointing out there. Guilt is pointing here. But either way, we are going to be hurt by it. I will tell you, I saw the word malignant. It was one of the greatest moments of my life because it forced me to say, okay, George, we're going down this road. Now we have an opportunity. We can go down this road, continue on down this road, or we can course correct and go down this way. Course correct, saying, what is it that led to this here? It wasn't genetics, had nothing to do with that. It was this. It was the accumulation of this. Okay? So now I want to talk to you about the allergies. Whew, that time of year. On a cellular level, when you get the idea, whatever form that idea is, it could be it wealth, health, happiness, okay? Any one of those, or all three. When you get this idea, okay, I want to ask you, what habit patterns do you need to develop to have that start to come more into fruition? I would tell you habit pattern number one would be to wake up tomorrow morning with a vision of that future. A vision of maybe you lost some weight. A vision of maybe you're getting rid of this resentment and this guilt. A vision of this is how you see yourself. You're attracting the money to you to pay debts that you have up to this point in your life. You're having challenges making them. Okay, the understanding that money doesn't hear us. I'm sorry, money can't talk, but it can hear. Okay, so. And I want to talk about what Oscar Wilde said. This was very, very profound. Again, write these notes down. Why is it that you and I, okay, were never told that in our brain we hold in just one single tiny ivory cell this kingdom called heaven or this kingdom called hell? Okay, Oscar Wilde said that. So here it is. So we get an idea, right? I just talked about it. You have this idea in your head now. Watching me, you have whatever it may be, okay, whatever form it's taking on. And then that idea in our rational mind goes into, we start to emotionally, and maybe you're getting it now, getting emotionally attached to it. So it goes down into our subconscious. Okay. And these represent all the cells in our mind. Okay. When you take an idea or a vision and you impregnate it over and over again in a cell, that cell, okay, the single cell that we bring it down to here, okay, that single cell begins to divide 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8. You get where I'm going here. 8 into 16, 16 to 32, and onward, right? 32 to 64. Here. And the process goes on at the rate, listen to this now, of 50,000 cells per second. So we get this idea. When we impregnate it by thinking about it over and over again, visually, we're visualizing, we're seeing this. The cells start to divide in our brain at the rate of 50,000 cells per second. When you begin to act on it, even when you don't feel like it, reading a book, watching a video, whatever acting may be, it may be starting a business, you're starting to work on this business, okay? But you work on this idea anyway, you start to develop this change in vibration in your body. And maybe you're starting to feel it now with this video, okay? But what really is happening is you're impregnating the cell with the idea. And these cells are going to stretch out. They're going to stretch out they're going to search out. They're going to search. So you get these ideas. The cells are going to search out the very thing necessary to get you to where you want to go, to complete the manifestation of that idea. The idea, we get it. Here's the key. We just get to emotionally start to feel this idea. We start to believe in this idea. Assume the feeling, as Neville said, of the wish fulfilled. He also said, very, very important, write this down again. Deny the evidence, what we can see and hear, and assume the feeling of the wish, the idea, the vision as already being completed. I will tell you this, especially if you're watching this and you're some sort of sales. Tomorrow, when you go to the office or when you're out in your sales calls, do not look at your sales results. If you're in an area or an environment where there's a board up and it has your name on it, do not look at that. Do not focus or think for a second about that. But keep your eye, your inner eye, on the prize, on the idea, on the vision, seeing yourself as a top producer. Keep your focus on that. Let the rest just take care of itself, because it will. Okay? Don't worry about how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen or what's on timeline. Just understand it is going to happen. Now, here's something else to write down. Okay, this is what Einstein said. This is what Einstein had this particular quote burned into the side of his desk. He said, it was responsible for every great invention of his. All creation. Wait with eager longing for the revealing through the sons of man, you and I. Everything that you want is already here. It's already here, ladies and gentlemen. So change this vision, this image you have of yourself. This is why I say to my videos when I started in the description, change this, and everything changes. It's guaranteed. It has been happening for as long as this universe has been here and this earth of ours has been here. Okay? Airplanes were always here. The Wright brothers changed this, and suddenly they appeared. Why? They did. My brother-in-law just left yesterday and went to California on an airplane. The Wright brothers didn't think, well, I'm not so sure, maybe, they're saying it's not going to work, so maybe it's not going to work, right? They didn't, right, but you understand, they didn't say that. The Wright brothers, they were onto something. So are you. So are you. Believe it, and it will happen. Be not afraid. Only believe. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody watching and my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. The new subscribers, welcome. Welcome to the family here. I'm so happy. As I mentioned before, I am working on getting this coaching sessions set up here. They'll be finished here in a few, hopefully in the next couple of days. So look for that. You're going to see a link in inside my channel, whatever the heck it's called, my back office. As you can tell, I'm not all that technically sound. I really, really rely on some other people, but you'll see there's going to be a link there. I think it's Calendly or something like it says. You'll be able to click on that and go in and then set up a time. I'm finishing everything up over there, but once it's finished, I'll let you guys know. Click on that. I'll just be thrilled to meet you. And any way that I can work with you one on one to help you, from the bottom of my heart, I'm here to help you. Okay? So thanks so much, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you guys again soon.